Welcome in, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about rice fields, creation, destruction, what we can do with them, what we can't. We're going to start off. We've got this rice field that comes with our start farm on Hutan. You can see there's the start farm. We're also going to look at this field across the way over there. That is just a regular field. I want to note, as we go in here, we have field 30, farmland 30, and it has field information, as does... We're so slow in 25 still. Get that working. We have farmland 28. Standard info there. Now let's say you're on this map and you do not want this to be a rice field. You want to plant some other crop, corn, whatever it may be. How do we get rid of this? Easy enough. We go to our construction menu. You can see we're going to hit enter demolition mode. Hit B. Now, when we go down to this field, you can see that highlighted when I got over it. Now, anywhere on this field works. Off the field goes away. We click anywhere on this field, and it'll ask us if we want to remove the rice field. Now, there are some things to be careful with when you do this, and we're going to get into those. But for now, we're just going to hit OK, and you can see the field goes away. Now, when we run on here, it's just ground. There's no field information anymore. Now, on our map, we still have farmland 30 that we can sell, but there's no field here. So, how do we get this back? Now, I do have a plow here, and yes, this is a modded plow. Because it's me, I already have a modded plow. Now, if we get in, just to plow this ground area, we lower. You can see nothing happens. It is not a field. It is not going to plow automatically. We have to create fields. And as you can see, we have to recreate the field. Try not to drive over there. Now, if we get out, and we look, we have our field info back. It has recreated the field. And it is also put it on the map. So we have a field back that we can now plant corn, wheat, whatever we may like. That is destruction. All right, so we're standing in front of our kind of field. You can see the lovely ground deformation from the tractor and those deep furrows of the plow. Then we've made a mistake. We want that rice field back. We do it. Well, there is a way. We're going to go to our construction menu. We're going to go to cultivation, which is under the second tab here. Now you see down here we have rice field. We can start a new field. Now it's going to give us the little dot. Now we click on the corner. And we get this line that we're drawing. We have toggle snapping off, put it on. That's going to give us that line there, which is going to be straight towards one of the angles, which is very good for making straight rice fields. We place our corner there. Again, we're still in toggle snapping. If you don't like that, if we have a rounded field, we can take that off and make this however we want. I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. We're going to go down to this corner here. Now, as you can see, it's made that green area just kind of show you what a square rectangle would be. We're going to take that this way. We need to take toggle snapping off. As you see, it's not letting us go. So now that green line changed for our perspective field. It's just going to go from what you've laid down, the two lines, and combine those, connect those two corners. But we're going to go farther and come down here. And now you see it's sort of extrapolating what the field would look like if we connect all our corners. And we want to bring this one over here. We do toggle snapping. You can kind of see it's giving us that whole green area. Put this down here. Now it's done that for us. It's made this whole thing. It's sort of auto done it for us. All right, the joys of editing. Still learning all these things. You can see we have a change placement height now. If we zoom down a little bit, we have N and M. You can see that's going to raise that up pretty high. You can also drop that down. Now that's going to be the height of your rice field. You see it's missing there. I don't know how low it's going, but for this purpose, we're going to draw it back to about normal height. Now, we have the toggle snapping on, so it's going to extrapolate this to this. We want to take that off. And we click that corner. Now it's extrapolating it to this. We don't want that. Exactly. Place there. Now it's going to do that because reasons, I don't know. It's going to go to the brown areas and not the grass. So that is our field. Now it's telling us we can finish. We can still change the placement height. Don't know why we'd want to, but we'll show it. So now it's just saying finish. Now, if you look anywhere in this green area, that's where our field's going to be. It's not showing in this where the pump will be, but we're just going to hit finish. And it puts the pump in sort of the same area. Now, if we go back down, we do have a sunken field. This does work. And now we have a rice field. Now, if we go on here, we have a field info. So we've created a field. All right, so we've destroyed a field. We've created a field. Now we're going to play around with it a little bit, see what kind of trouble we can get into. Yes, FYI, the flickering going to be a patch, I'm sure. We're just going to get used to that. But let's try this field over here. It's just right behind us where we were. We're going to go to our field creation. This is an irregular shaped field, so it's going to be a little bit different. We click down here. We've started our new field. Now, we can't see the line, so we're going to raise this up. Maybe. There we go. So we can see it. We've added that there. Now, this is fairly straight. Again, it's extrapolating what we have based on the data we've given it. Now, I kind of go around and create this ourselves. As many little segments as we can get in there. Now, it does give you a minimum length on these segments. So be aware of that. You can't do too many weird angles. Now, see, it's extrapolating that again. I want to go a little bit different than what they're saying. Now, it's finished that. I think that's pretty good from what it is. And as you can see, our height is pretty high because we needed to see that because of the terrain. We're going to raise it as much as we can and just see what happens. I haven't even tried this yet, so we'll see. We're just going to hit finish. Apparently we're colliding with this rock. Very interesting. If we can go down some and it will not collide. Still colliding with that. So interestingly, and this is why we test this stuff, is that it seems to be colliding with that rock face. So we're going to try something. See if we can remove the last corner. Sort of exit out of here. Still a field. But now we're going to try this a little different way. We're going to come down here. We're going to raise this a little bit more so we can see it. Maybe not as precise on this attempt, but we're testing a theory here. Actually gonna leave that how it is. Let's raise this up and hit finish. And it still is colliding with that object. So there is something with the field creation that it needs to be a little bit wider. Not letting us do that high. Try again. Ground level. Apparently we're still colliding with something in there. Removing all these corners. Okay, I think we exit out. Maybe, just maybe, this one will work for us. Raise this up. I'm gonna go off this edge just a little bit. Where we were colliding at. I'll leave that there. And let's just hit finish. We are still colliding with these rocks. I don't know what the distance is. We've given it a little bit there. So that is interesting. We do have collisions with natural objects on the map. All right, so we've learned we have some collisions with things. So once again, we just kind of want to play. So we're going to create this field again. We've destroyed it. Create a core. Let's raise that up so we can see. One pretty easy to build. You can see it's already sunken. Another aspect when you destroy a field is that it is sunken where it's at. So if you want to come back and level that field for corn or wheat, you're going to need to landscape that back to the height of that it was. Now that's pretty good. We are going to finish this, but first we're going to raise it as high as we can. Because why not? And see if we can finish it. And it worked. And that is something. So I'm going to say no. So it did give us an option to cancel. We did this, which is interesting. We've made this mountain of a rice field. That's going to be very hard to harvest. But if you see up there in the menu, it still says finish. So if I hit circle on mine, or back, do you want to cancel the creation of the field? So we could say yes. Now it still raised the terrain. We just don't have a field. So it's technically not an undo button. We didn't create the field, but we still raised the terrain. Something to be very careful of, since we've now created a mountain in Bhutan Pantai. And we'd have to go back and landscape that down. I'm not going to do that. We are going to back out. Stare at the monstrosity that we've created. Go back to construction. See if we can do the opposite. We're going to destroy this field. And then create a new one. Again, it's a little bit lower based off the old field. Now that is done. Now we want to lower it as much as possible. I'm just spamming the N button there. I'm going to hit finish. And yes, we've created a giant hole in the ground. Apparently taken away from that ledge. That's now probably unstable, but that's okay. We've created a large hole. So these two extremes here, this giant hole and this giant mountain, have sort of shown us that we need to be careful when creating this rice field. Be gentle. Don't go too high, too low, and then hit finish. But you can create a rice field, as we've shown. Times we do have collisions with sort of natural objects, so we have to be careful of that. Not quite sure where the pump is. This didn't really create the field. Still there. We'll hit finish. And there's our pump. So we've created a giant hole in the ground rice field now. It's only going to flood to a certain level. We can try to run over there and show you. This one we did not create, so I can't flood a mountain. But we can run up on it. Now, I don't know if we've made a giant swimming pool over here. We're going to flood and fast forward. And there it goes. Just like a normal rice field. It's not gonna fill this whole hole. But yeah, some interesting things to think about when you're creating rice fields. Don't go too low. Don't go too high. Just kind of make it ground level and it'll sink it enough for what it needs. It'll create the pump. And yeah, you can make rice fields. You can get rid of rice fields. You just need to be careful, as in everything in landscape mode. Make sure you save first and give it a try. But let me know what you think. Tell me what your thoughts are on these creation of rice fields. But until next time, thank you for watching.